UNC returns from its West Coast trip with a home game against Notre Dame, where the Tar Heels are just searching for answers on the defensive front. Maybe that comes in the form of this Dame team coming into town off of four straight losses. They haven't won a game since they beat Stanford, J-Man. It must be nice. It must be nice to cheer for an ACC team that can actually handle business against these conference newbies. But anyway, we are going to get into it. I'm Riley Davis. He is J-Man. We are Sleepers Media, presented to you by Tinker Coffee. I'm sipping on a little pour over right now of the Puebla blend, my favorite. Love those beans and just the best way to start my day. So make sure you use promo code SLEEPERS for 15% off your first order. Go support them. You will not regret it. I assure you of that. Jay, man, let's talk the Tar Heels, man. We've done previews, we've done recaps for UNC. We've talked about this offline. I have complained to you. You have extended your sympathy even as a Duke fan. This defense has been a mess. Their communication's bad. They don't seem like they know their assignments. They are giving up wide open threes almost every time down the court. It seems like they can never get a stop. And yet they welcome in a Notre Dame team that's hobbled. There's no Marcus Burton still. Keba J, one of their backup big men, he is done for the year. And yet the Irish, they're now their record's not as good as you would have hoped, considering the Shrewsbury Burton. We'll give them a pass for Burton being out, but it seems like they get wrecked by injuries every year. But with that, Braden Shrewsbury and the Jalen Harrelson pairing, and they've had other guys step up, but it's an interesting team that I think like I don't know, man. Even though you look at this roster and it's like, okay, it's Shrewsbury and Harrelson and a bunch of NPCs, like it's still I wouldn't overlook any opponent based on how Carolina's playing defense right now.
Yeah, and I know they're healthy. Like when they had the wins against Missouri and TCU are healthier, and so
Mhm.
that was, I think so, anyways. And that's back to back. I mean, that's two really good wins for Notre Dame, and obviously they've lost what 5 out of 6, but that is or 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6 because they're without their best player. And to your point though, like Shrewsbury, he's shooting what 40 something percent from three, 40
43%, 50 makes on the season.
43, and he's had three bad games. He's had 3 bad games where he's had 5 points, 8 points, 6 points, and has not shot the ball well. And boy, will his eyes light up against this defense. Like he has made 1 for 4, 2 for 5, over 5 from 3 in 3 straight games. And the Cal game that they had, he was 5 of 12 from three. And Evansville, he was 8 of 10. So this dude can turn it up. And
Mhm.
how do you get like a slump buster? You play a team like UNC, and that is a defense that Shrewsbury's got to find it. If you can't find it against UNC, you might not find it the rest of the season. Like he's got to be the one that is the guy for Notre Dame in this game. And so I would not be surprised to see Shrewsbury shoot probably 15 times in
Mhm.
this game. I'm not saying he's going to make them all, like I'm trolling
Mhm.
a little bit with UNC's defense, but there's a chance that he goes 5 of 15. There's a chance he goes 9 of 15. It is
Mhm.
up to UNC to eliminate those clean looks for him and Notre Dame.
Yeah, with him and Cole Serta, those are the two best 3-point shooters for Notre Dame. Serta's coming in at 39% from beyond the arc. When you look at their shot diet, this is a team that they take a bunch of threes. 42% of their field goal attempts come from beyond the arc. If you look at any sort of shot chart, I was breaking down the CBB analytics charts ahead of this one. They don't really get into the paint. They don't really score at the rim. This is one of those games where I'm begging UNC, Sean May, Brad Frederick, Big Pat, Coach Sully, if you hear me, do not overhelp off of this one. Do not leave guys open in the corner. Take your chances with Vasar protecting the rim. Maybe think about utilizing Caleb Wilson as a weak side rim protector in this one as well. And well, I guess that would imply if he's just be in better communication, have better rotations, and let your size do its thing in the paint. I want
Yeah.
Seth Trimble face guarding Braden Shrewsbury, denying him the ball. I would rather Cole Surt like trust that Cole Surt is not going to kill me than Shrewsbury. Like try to find a way to neutralize him. Have Caleb slow down Harrelson, but he's someone who really has to step up his defense as well. And maybe you're feeling good about this one. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to win this game. Like UNC, you wasted the performance of your two best players against Stanford because you couldn't guard them. And so offense is not an issue. You're going to score fine with the front court in this matchup. That is your strength. And
mhm,
you have the athleticism, Caleb Wilson, to give you a big time performance, and Henry Vassar have a big time performance. But it is your defense. Like UNC, I think that when like obviously preview, I'm not going to spoil it, but they should take care of business, but you want to see it on the defensive end. Like you
Yeah.
kind of want to see it immediately because this Notre Dame team, as you said, they were without their best player, the best scorer, and now they go on the road to UNC. And this UNC, like I know you're frustrated. UNC fan base is frustrated. They want to see a dominant performance, and the best way to do that is come off to a fast start with smothering them on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see just I, man, I struggle even to articulate it because it seems like there's so many problems and I don't know how they're fixed in a 4 day stretch since the last time we saw UNC. I guess I just asked for better communication, playing to your player's strengths, not making Caleb Wilson switch every time he's put in a ball screen, not leaving Henry Vasar in a switch on every ball screen either. You can mix it up some hard hedge with those guys, and I think they have the athleticism to recover in those situations. Get better communication on the backside, know what you're doing, and again, just don't don't help off the corners or don't
Yeah.
have like pointless double teams. Do so with purpose, and if we can see some of that, just I think Hubert has tried different ball screen coverages. He's tried mixing it up with his zone a little bit against Cal, but none of his adjustments have worked. And uh, it's hard for me to find hope right now that this defense gets fixed. But I at least would appreciate seeing some strides being made. Like maybe don't give up double digit made threes in this one. Aim to give up 8 to 9 and live with it. And see if you can move forward with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we joked before the show. He was asked what he was doing on Monday night, and he said he was going to be watching film, also the college football playoff, and Landman. And that's not something you really want to hear when you are a UNC fan, that he's watching three different things when the defense has been the way it has been. And you want to put that on the full screen only. Yeah, YouTube TV, great plug for YouTube TV with the quad box and trio box, but make it just a single box and it's Notre Dame film of how to stop them from scoring because it was a rough patch in that West Coast trip and an ACC play guarding the ball. And so I think UNC will bounce back defensively in this
Mhm.
because it's almost been so much public shaming that it's going to be it really will be like it's going to correct its course because it's so apparent and so obvious for even the most casual fans. Like, wow,
Mhm.
UNC. I was having a conversation with somebody at a coffee shop recently, and we were just talking, and he was like, "Man, UNC, they can't stop anything." I'm like, "I didn't even know you like basketball." Like that's how bad it's been. So I think they're going to take care of business here against Notre Dame, hopefully, because if not, then it's going to be another just organic interaction with the guy that doesn't watch college basketball. Like, this UNC team, man, they can't stop anything.
It's like when NBA Reddit shamed James Harden so much for his bad defense that he finally started checking a little bit. Maybe that's the effect here where I just want to see guys talking to each other on the court. I feel like I keep going back. I'm telling you all the things I want to see. I want to see a lot of things. All right, let me power rank what I want to see. I want to see
Please.
communication first and foremost. I want to see playing to the big strengths and not leaving them in islands out on the perimeter. I want to see guys fight through screens and I want to see them not help off of shooters. Give me those four things. And if you do that and Notre Dame lights you up and hits 10 or 11 or 12 threes, I can live with that. You throw your hands up and say, okay, there's something from the scheme is too far gone. These players, there's a weird fit here, and it's probably not going to get fixed this year. But at least I can if I can see that those four things are there, that there's some sort of effort being made and there's some sort of ability to diagnose what's been going wrong by this coaching staff. Like maybe there's still going to be some disconnects along the way. Maybe it won't be the fully realized version that I think Carolina fans hoped it could be with that size in the front court, but at least there are small markers of improvement or at least effort being put in to fix what is broken. So beyond that, looking that's kind of the story right there. I mean, I mentioned that I was looking at some of Carolina's defensive numbers on the CBB Analytics site. Good tool. Their last 5 games, I will say this, they're in the 99th percentile and at the rim field goal attempt rate. So hang the banner for that. Teams aren't getting to the rim against us. It's probably because they're teeing off from beyond the arc. But they're in terms of corner three field goal attempt rate, ninth percentile, allowing opponents to shoot 47.6% from the corner over their last 5 games. That's in the 11th percentile. Teams are, it's 48% from the corner, dude. I know that's a good shot, high percent shot in general, but that's awful. They're in the fourth percentile and above the break three field goal attempt rate, allowing opponents to shoot 44.3% on above the break threes. That's in the second percentile. So I know a lot of stats have been thrown out for how bad this defense is, but I just thought, like, why not pile on and contextualize it a little bit more?
Let me pile on too because I have a couple right here as well. And I'm sorry, but it's fine. This is also therapy for UNC fans. We're like letting it all out. We're just speaking the minds of everybody right now. And it's efficient field goal percentage defensively. You're dead last at 61% in conference play, dead last. And 3 point percentage against dead last 45% from three teams are shooting from three, but the good news is the offensive rebounding percentage is 23.6%, which is second in the ACC because nobody's missing. So you're not giving up offensive rebounds because the teams are scoring on the first shot of every possession. So kudos to having the second best offensive rebounding percentage against. And then free throw rate second against 26% because you're not fouling either. They're teeing off, as you said, from the three. So you're second in the ACC in offense rebound percentage against and free throw rate against because you're not playing defense. But it is, in all seriousness, it has to be so frustrating, obviously, for you and UNC fans that you are number one. You're the first in offensive efficient field goal percentage in the ACC. You're first, and yet you have a losing conference record because your defense is that much worse than your offense. Like you are first in efficient field goal percentage, second best offense behind Duke, and you're wasting it away because you can't stop anybody. So I think Notre Dame is the perfect team to play in this situation because they're without Marcus Burton. So it's going to ask role players to step up, and you can make them uncomfortable early.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything? So, Jay, man, we've talked about this before. You're the coach of the channel. You have the most basketball experience in terms of both. Well, you and Carter in terms of playing, and I think you have the most in terms of coaching. Is there anything that Carolina can do, even schematically, at this point, where they're selling out to stop to contain guards from just going off from three? Like, is there a way to even funnel them to the paint and just trust in your length there? Is there too much? Is there too many ways to exploit that with ball movement, screening to bring the bigs out of position?
Honestly, I think you just need to make them speed up. This Notre Dame team specifically for matchup wise, make them speed up because there is not a Marcus Burton on the floor to where when they have the inevitable ball screen, blitz him and make
Mhm.
that guy rush his process of where he wants to throw it to, and then you have maybe Caleb Wilson can be the blitzer or he can be the guy that's the middleman. So once Henry Vassar blitzes with the guard, Caleb
Mhm.
Wilson can just be a Ed Reed out there, and that ball's in the air. You go get it. Use your athleticism and go get it. That's what I want to see is the wrinkle of making the on ball guy uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And that just seems like it hasn't been a thing for UNC. And whether it's just ball screen coverage or it's man to man coverage of the ball handler, but Duke went through this rough patch defensively, and what they've done well is they've forced teams to turn it over. Even when teams shot the ball well against Duke, they forced 21 turnovers against SMU. And it's just like, hey, if you're going to give up 50% from the field, at least make every other possession uncomfortable for them and turn them
Right.
over. And
Right.
so if Notre Dame goes and shoots 48% from the field, shoots 40% from three, at least make them turn the ball over 17 times because
Mhm.
you're making everything a gamble. And so just get out there and play loose, kind of.
Yeah, I think in terms of blitzing, I think back to the best performances Carolina team had game two against Kansas, where you had Caleb Wilson at the top of a full court press. I can still remember the final possession of the game for Kansas, or it was in the final 30 seconds when they had Caleb Wilson bring a double team on. I think it might have been Peterson, and he ripped his pocket and finished with that thunderous dunk. There was like the picture from it of him rising above tomahawk slam with two Jayhawks behind him, just staring like, dude, what did we do tonight? And it seems like we haven't really seen Hubert and this staff put Caleb in a position to do that. Like he's struggled a lot in off-ball defense, and I wonder if there's a way that if you can use him a little more aggressively in these traps or in these doubles to sort of hide some of his shortcomings and take advantage of what he's good at. Or even what you said, if you use Vasar, like you have Vasar, you have Stevenson, you have guys with good length plus wingspans who are, I would say, agile, who are able to slide their feet on the perimeter some. Like I said at the top, you don't want to leave Vasar or Wilson or Stevenson out on an island there, really. Like we saw Stevenson really struggle in his reps against Corey against Stanford. But I think there are ways, like you're saying, to speed them up, to make the ball handlers uncomfortable and just try to create havoc catastrophic. And even you're looking at a roster, like I'm assuming that Derek Dixon will start at the point again, where you're if it's Steve, whether it's Stevenson at the three or Luke at the three, your shortest guy out there is going to be 6'5" to start the game. Like you're actually putting, I guess Seth Trimble's 6'3", but still, like you're putting bigger lineups out there where theoretically maybe you can be more aggressive in the passing lanes. Like you mentioned, they're not really fouling teams, and part of that's because opponents are making a bunch of threes, but like put the foul trouble aside in terms of the concern. There are way bigger concerns for this defense right now than if Vasar gets into foul trouble. Zayden High, I never thought I would say this. Zayden High held his own against Cal when he got in the first half. He actually gave them a, or I think it was the second half, but he gave them a spark, which like maybe maybe the backup five situation isn't as dire as we once thought, and you can steal 5 minutes with Zayden High there. Let's say three. Give him three to five. Like play a
That's
little
how
more.
to this is how I know you're down bad, Riley. You're talking yourself into Zayden High getting some meaningful minutes. Which is, listen, I've been there, buddy. I've been there. It's just very funny that you're like, you know what? Actually, my after the West Coast trip, I came away with the thought that Zayden High could solve some issues and play 5 minutes. But to your point, he did play hard. He did play hard, but and it's just very funny that that is the conclusion of some of this stuff. But look,
That's
it
that's
yeah,
still such like a knock when it's like, all right, Zayden gave you 6 points in like 4 minutes. Oh yeah, he just played hard. Like that's the best thing you can say about him, but it's true. Like just play play hard and give it your best, Zayden.
yeah. Listen, I don't have much to add with the Zayden High thing. Besides, it's just very funny to see the you having to cope and find some sort of positive spin because again, I have been there, and especially with me being a Duke football fan recently, I'm trying to figure out who's my quarterback. I think I can wager Malik Brown to stay for like one more semester and be the starting quarterback for the football team with the way he can pass the ball. So I'm coping right now in that aspect.
Yeah, you're talking yourself into Alberto Mendoza because of his last name, and
Yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right.
I'm talking myself into 5 minutes of Zayden High, allowing Henry Vasar to play more aggressively. But looking at this, so this Notre Dame team, the keys for them, I would say Jalen Harrelson, he's giving you close to 15 a game. I feel like generally when Caleb Wilson gets lit up, it's usually from three. That's not Harrelson's game. I think Caleb can keep him out of the paint. If you do double Harrelson, if he starts to kill you, he's a really good passer. And the Notre Dame bigs have been sneaky productive with Carson Tout, Garrett Sundra, Brady Kohler. Like those guys aren't as much of liabilities as you would expect. Tout in particular, really good rebounder. And I think Notre Dame like constricts you a little bit more in the paint than you would expect. However, just based on what we've seen in ACC play right now, I don't think any team can match up offensively. Like Duke's probably the only ones, and I'll throw Virginia in there as well. Duke and Virginia, the two who can match up well with Basar and Wilson. I expect them to get their own. Again, it's going to come down to the other side of the ball. Can Carolina speed up Logan Imes? Can they contest shots from Shrewsbury and Serta? Can they keep Jalen Harrelson from picking them apart? If they do that, I think they should be able to get a double-digit win. However, I'm in like see it to believe it mode. Like the rationale here, you think you've been embarrassed, and people have been talking about firing your coach for the better part of a week now. Your defense has been dragged through the mud. You got Terrence Oglesby breaking down the struggles. You have Sam Vecini breaking down the struggles. You have Joe Barry posting like a laundry list of issues with the defense on Twitter. You have Hubert talking about the triple boxing on his multi-view. Like there's so many things. Like at some point, if you're a player on this UNC team, you just gotta like dig deep and say, all right, we're not gonna get punked like this and go out there and win this game by 10 to 20 points. But I need to see it before I pick that. I think they should win this game by like 12 to 15. I think they win by like 5 or 6. I'll say they end up winning like 85 to 79.
Oh boy, you are going through it. I'm sorry, Riley. So I last thing I'll say is to go to my point about speeding them up and make guys play fast. Like Sir Muhammad has played well the last two games for Notre Dame scoring wise, 15 points against Miami in 12 minutes. He got rewarded to play 23 minutes the following game against Virginia Tech last game, had 12 points and 5 rebounds and 3 assists. But if he's going to play like double digit minutes, that's a guy you make uncomfortable because he has 33 turnovers on the year and 39 made field goals. So he turns the ball over a lot in his limited minutes. So if he's on the floor, you have to put on ball pressure on Sir Muhammad and make him speed up. And that's just kind of like my example of it. It's an
Mm-hmm.
ideal matchup for UNC to get right without Marcus Burton, who's all ACC caliber for this Notre Dame team. And I'm going to be more bullish than you. I think this is a get right game. I think UNC wins big. I think UNC wins by 14. I am going to go UNC 82 to 68. And I think you're going to see it could be it could just be like false hope of a good defense performance against a down team that's hurt. But I really think you're going to figure something out on the defense side and of the ball coming back home from the West Coast trip, licking your wounds. I got UNC big 82-68.
Would certainly be nice. Would certainly quiet some concerns right now, and I'm definitely up for some false hope before Ryan Odom and Chance Mallory rip my heart out over the weekend.